It is a pleasure to be here, partnering the Hoya Sustainability Network. This is a responsibility for all of us just to defend what we think is valuable in the world. We at the Georgetown Club of Spain, we are the Georgetown University Association in Spain. We are around 150 members, full members right now. We've been awarded 3 out of the 4 years as the international best club at the Georgetown University, so we are very proud of it. We are very happy because we have the King of Spain as our president of honor, and it's always a privilege to count on him on our events, on some of them. So basically, the goal of our club, we are not a lucrative organization. We do not defend any political or any religious mantra. So we are quite free. And so our only goal is to enrich the day-to-day of our members and friends, organizing events of every kind. And sustainability is one of the topic that we try to boost more. Basically, I would probably highlight a couple of leadership series we have. We have one consisting of breakfast, where we invite top people in sectors where, as a country, Spain is competitive. So we brought Vicente del Bosque, like the national coach, winner of the World Cup, the president of PwC, the CEO of Endesa, Chicote, a famous chef, plenty of people, but in sectors where, as a country, we are competitive. We also have a social series where we visit one city in the country. So we went to Mallorca with Rafa Nadal. We went to Jerez, where, to try the wine and, so visiting, because Spain is very rich in terms of cities. And, we organize these weekends for our members, and we enjoy also socially speaking. This year, for example, we will celebrate the 25th anniversary of the club in November, and we will put together a weekend where we will have a dinner with the king on a Friday. Then on Saturday, we will celebrate conferences with the mayor of Madrid, and then a chef, and then a dinner with a show. And on the Sunday, we will, organize private visits. So it will take place in November 13th to November 15th. We will announce it, and probably the new president of the Georgetown University will be visiting us. So having said this, that's for the club. Today is a privilege to be here, and today we will have 4 top presenters: Shruti Bhaskaran Makanju, Flavio Cabrera, Raquel Díaz, and Audrey Marmon-Halm, coming from very different backgrounds, Sub-Saharan Africa, Mexico, Barcelona, Ghana, and they will be presenting different topics such as community engagement, community-based solutions, consumer behavior for waste prevention, innovation in resource-constrained environments, or operational efficiency in the food value chain. And each presenter will be providing a presentation of 15 minutes. And then all of you will have the opportunity just to make questions through the chat, so that at the end of the session, after the 4 presentations, we will be discussing these questions. So we continue with Raquel. Raquel Díaz is a sustainability expert specializing in food systems with a focus on food loss and waste prevention. She serves as a projects director at the Espigolators Foundation, a social enterprise based in Spain that works to reduce food waste while promoting social inclusion and access to healthy food. In her role, she leads the design and implementation of projects that combine research, field action, and community engagement to transform food systems. She holds a PhD in sustainability from the Universitat Politècnica de Catalunya, where her doctoral research analyzed food loss and waste across the entire food system. Over the past decade, Raquel has contributed to a wide range of national and international initiatives focused on measuring, preventing, and raising awareness around food waste. Her work bridges data-driven analysis with practical solutions that can be implemented across the value chain. Raquel, I leave you the floor.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much to invite us to share our work here in Spain, Europe. It's a pleasure to be here in this international panel and to learn from others also. I will try to share the European Spanish perspective, so I will share a little bit of some numbers in Europe, what are we doing the efforts to quantify the food loss problem. Also the regulation context here, which can help, as our colleagues from Mexico, to accelerate the transition to prevent food losses and food waste, and what we do as organization. So let me share the presentation. To put in context some numbers in Europe, because we've seen the international figures, in Europe, the recent numbers we have, it's like 132 kilos per person per year are wasted from the door of the farm, because they don't include the farm at the farm level numbers until the table. And if we see the fruits and vegetables are the ones who are taking the majority of amount of this waste. The reasons to food losses at the primary sector are the common that has been explained, size, aesthetic standards, unfair prices, that the fruits and vegetables have some bruises or spots, overripe, diverse shapes. They are quite difficult and complex. The roots of the drivers of the food losses and waste are a structural matter. If we see fruit by fruit or food type by food type, we see that at some point, at least almost half of the fruit, the food produced at Europe are not arriving to the tables. For example, in the case of fruit and vegetable, but also in the case of the fish that lives at the sea, dead fishes at the sea, they are thrown out through the boat and are not entering to the supply chain. Some policy framework. In Europe, different to other parts of the world, we have different directives, from the waste directive to the food regulations, which are targeting the food waste problem. For example, the waste directive in 2018, they included the definition of food waste concept, and this year, last year, at the end of the year, the European Parliament set up the reduction targets to all European member states, reducing 10% at the processing and manufacturing and 30% per capita at the retail and consumption levels, in 2030 compared to 2021-2023. And in 1 year, they will review the targets, and they will include also the food losses at the farm level. In Spain, 1 year ago, April 25, the Congress approved a very innovative and unique law, the law to prevent food losses and waste, which is the unique one to our understanding, which is considering the prevention from the farm to the table, considering the prevention perspective, not only redistributing the leftovers, or redistribute the surpluses, as in France there is a law to try to engage supermarkets to redistribute the surpluses. In Italy there are also the Samaritan law, similar to the States, but in this law it was quite complete perspective, and there is some point I want to share with you. For example, companies need to have a food loss and food waste prevention plan, where they have to explain what are they doing to follow the food waste hierarchy use, as the colleague Ruti presented, similar to this hierarchy. Also, they need to have some agreement with food bank social entities to redistribute the leftovers, the surpluses that they cannot prevent. And also there is plenty of articles to the administration to support quantification, prevention actions, etc. We are also participating in different projects at the European level. In this case, I want to share with you the Follow project, where the Commission asked for the consortium that we gained the project, the call, to try to develop a methodology to quantify food losses at the farm level, because compared to other regions in the world, food waste only includes from farm gate to consume to households. But what is remaining at the farm level is still unknown. So the Commission 3 years ago asked to define a methodology to quantify food losses, at least at 5 main commodity sectors, and to try to define the concept. So we are trying and debate with different experts around the world. In fact, also with debates with FAO, UNEP, people and experts from the States, from Africa, and also in Europe, what can be the definition for food loss? Because in Europe, compared to the proposal of food loss and food waste is accounted from the moment the food is managed as waste in any waste treatment plan. So food loss, we define food loss as any harvest mature plant, animal or living being, including any inedible parts, that is not successfully harvested, as well as food removed from the supply chain during post-harvest phase that does not become animal feed, byproduct, or food waste. In this exercise, we tried to clarify also for practitioners, trying to clarify depending on the stages of the food, the material type, the avoidability or not, the intention of the food, and the use you are going to do with this food or surpluses. Because depending on this, there are different legal frameworks that are classifying this as waste or as byproduct or as animal feed. So this is trying to help the definition, and depending on the applicability of the definitional framework, the numbers are also varying, differed from 100 to 50, depending on the definition you are using and the methodology. Also, we need to encompass the definition we are proposing with the international definition. So it is important to compare the European definition on the proposal of food loss definition with the FAO's UNEP ones, which you can see here. In Europe, we are proposing to quantify from the ready for harvest food, with, although we know that there are lots of losses before the food is ready for harvest, but this is our external and previous to harvest. And we define these food losses as the post-harvest moment, and there is some gray areas here in the middle, depending on the destination of the surpluses that can be considered food loss or food waste. And we've been making some effort to quantify and apply a specific and standard methodology, quantifying different food sectors in the potato case, the cereals, mussels and fish, fisheries, aquaculture, milk and meat. And also in Spain, we've lead the case for fruits and vegetables. I want to share with you some of the numbers. We've quantified 46 plots of different 10 crops. It's not to take into account now the specific numbers, only to have an overview that depending on the crop, depending on the sample size, we can vary from 2%, 1% of food loss and up to 30%. So we encourage all the sector, the primary sector, to quantify, to register, because our understanding until now that it varies a lot. Also, we are analyzing different production methods, conventional, organic, and also agroecological one, because so far there is no research on this topic depending on the production method. And also we are collecting the reasons, the drivers, the main drivers of this food not to move from the farm to the next steps of the supply chain. And I just highlighted the main ones. For example, the marketing and industry standards, some pests and disease are mainly more and more frequent due to the climate change, for example, and are different from fruits to the vegetable crops. With this context, I want to share with you what we are doing to try to solve and to prevent food loss and waste. And who are we? We are a non-for-profit organization that we were born in 2014 to prevent food losses and waste, to try to guarantee the right to access to food to everyone, and give job opportunities. Our name in English is Gleaners, and we are a gleaner organization. The ones who are based in the United States, you are more familiar with the gleaning activity because it's very common to have a gleaning organization in the different regions. Here in Europe, we've lost this tradition. It's nothing new. In fact, there is different historical evidences of the task. And in the past decades, farmers allow the most poor people at the village to enter to the farm to pick leftovers. We wanted in 2014 to recover this practice and to make it more formally and organized manner, making an environmental and social volunteer activity. We have different areas of action. One of the areas of action and the shift of changing is the gleaning area. We also have a food transformation site. I will explain to you very briefly, and some transversal areas of education, research oriented to action, and communication and advocacy areas. We are in total 60 professionals dedicated full-time to prevent food losses and food waste. And we aim to scale up and to replicate the model in different places in the territories in Europe, or collaborating with entities who are gleaners also in Spain, and why not in other parts of the world. So why do we glean? We can prevent a little bit of food losses, of course, but it's not the solution to farm losses. We believe that we can help to make some visibility to the reality of farmers, moving people from the cities to the farm level and putting from 3 to 4 hours in the boots of the farmers and realizing the difficulties they have to commercialize their products and how hard it is to collect and to grow products. And maybe they realize afterward in the fruit store, in the supermarkets, where are the foods coming from and the prices of them. Also, we are redistributing these fruits and vegetables to food pantries, food charities, providing fresh local food to people in need. We are also using the gleaning activities to quantify food losses, and we know that in the United States there are some research and gleaners organizations doing the same, and we are exchanging also methodologies. These are some of the pictures of our activities. We have a group of more than 3,000 volunteers who are registered in our website, in our network, and we organized around from 200 to 300 gleaners per year. We've recovered more than 3 million kilos of food recovered so far. In the research area, we want to provide knowledge because it's the food loss and food waste problem is understudied, and we want to put the lenses on the topic because we don't know exactly what are the drivers and the reasons. So we have general numbers, general figures, but not the reasons and the possibilities to change this dynamic. So we work to quantify food loss and food waste. We collaborate with companies and food cooperatives to establish prevention plans, etc. Also, we organize, of course, because as our colleagues in Mexico, you need to study the topic, you need to offer solutions, but you also try to educate and to teach and to communicate and disseminate the problem. So we organize different sustainable cooking activities, educational training sessions, and many as activities as you can believe in relation with food waste prevention. Some communication materials, some games to try to use different strategies to try to arrive to as much as people as possible from many ages and different life situations. These are some of the pictures of the activities. And finally, some words about our Central Transformation Product Center. We are a social integration company where we are buying leftovers from the food cooperatives, the primary sectors and farmers to transform it into new products and jams, vegetable pâtés, sauces, tomato soups, compotes, where are we offering second opportunities to people at risk, but also to the fruits that are, if not, will be discarded. So we are selling our own brand as Imperfect to different stores, supermarkets, local stores, specialist stores, and we are offering also our production site to the farmers to transform their surpluses under their own brand. We are employing 30 people so far who are directed from social service from the municipality we are located. These some of the pictures from our colleagues. And we are a B Corp certified company also, which can also be a shift to arrive to a broader audience. Thank you very much. And that's all.
Right now we have a question for Raquel. So Raquel, how do you use your research to advocate for policy changes? For example, publications, global working groups, etc.
Yes, thanks for the question. So first of all, we need to make some pressure and some advocacy to make these laws. No, for example, the Spanish law, it was not so clear that they will gonna include all the obligations. So we organize with other organizations, social organizations, to try to propose different amendments to the project law, to try to include the gleaning activity as well, or to try to obligate the administrations to measure. So first of all, organize ourselves with other organizations, similar organizations, to try to make more effort. And second of all, we always, when we do some research, I think the difference to other research makers, we believe on what we are doing has some utility, no? So it's not, it should be the research, no, per se, but it's not always the case. So we always try to share the results with the sector, the farmers organizations, the farmers directly, also with the administration, local, regional, or European administration, to try to change things. So it's not only that we know the numbers, it's what we do out of it. So we need to, yes, to publish. It's not so easy when we are a non-for-profit organization, not an educational or university department, but we also try to publish and to be part of Congress, international debate, to share our experiences also, and to learn from others. For example, in the case of quantifying from the gleaning activities, it is very useful knowing that there are other people, this case in the United States, doing the same, and we share the methodologies, the challenges we have, and to try to improve.
Thank you, Raquel. This is very clear. Thank you for the answer.